Hey everybody, it's Triple L, here with a Honkai Star Rail video covering the Apocalyptic Shadows, recording this on December 13th, 2024. Alright, so let's get into this. We're going to deal with Kocalia first. So the build I'm using, I've got Feixiao, I've got Jade, I've got Robin, I've got Gallagher. Now the Feixiao build is, when it comes to the relics, you can find it online, it's the standard. I have no ease for Feixiao, however, this is my build for Jade. Now here I have E1 on Jade. This just helps make it a bit more reasonable with Feixiao. I don't think this is a very optimal one, and my Robin has E2. I don't think this is a very optimal team. I think there are things I can still improve. But that means there is room for you if you happen to have an E1 Jade as well. As you saw, Robin is using cogs. This is what I got on Gallagher. I do have my E6 available on Gallagher as well, but I'm not using it just to see, you don't need it. With this team, you can get through Kocalia pretty easily. One thing I did like about this Apocalyptic Shadows was that you did need a level of care. You need to be kind of careful going into this one with this particular team. Okay, so let's begin. Alright, so we're taking in the attacks from Kocalia already. My overall strategy here was to prioritize Kocalia as much as I could. I found that not prioritizing her just leads to worse outcomes. Of course, timing everything correctly. With Robin, I tend to only use Robin's ultimate when I'm going to get a full refresh of all the people. I don't really use Robin if I have like 4 characters about to attack anyway. So that's why you see me not using Robin here. Now, every time I pause like that, that's because I'm thinking like, oh, I should be... I'm thinking about whether or not I should be using Robin. On this one, I probably would have activated Robin first before going with Jade. It was a bit of a misplay on that one. One thing I definitely do like with this team is like once Jade and Feixiao start going, it just feels really powerful. Okay, so we're going in to use another ultimate here. So far, going pretty well. Now, I do believe that in this try, Gepard is still going to be able to use his shield, but it's not too bad. Of course, you want to kind of get into the second bar before Gepard gets to have a second round of his shield, just because it'll slow it down. Okay, there goes the shield. Great. Now here's where you kind of gotta start thinking about what you're going to be doing. Once that shield goes up, I just kind of opted to switch over to Gepard. Now here I'm looking at the shield value. I don't think Feixiao is going to be able to clear it if she goes after Kocalia, so we're just going to do it here. Doesn't really matter in the long run. The great thing here is that Robin has so much energy built up just throughout that whole thing, so now I'm good to use her again. And I did enjoy using Robin in this case because it just kept Kocalia away for a bit longer. Gotta be very careful here with my activations. I don't want to get Gepard getting another turn. Okay, so in one of my runs, I was able to get Kokalia down to 0 before she recovered. I think it'll really depend on whether or not you get a lot of crits as you're beating her up. But do know it's possible with this team. Probably with more optimal play, I probably could have done it here. The big question here is Gepard. Yep, he's going to activate it. Alright, so not the best run for me here, but I still managed to clear this with over 3,000. Ooh, this time it's getting a little bit dicey. We're in the red, oh boy. Should be fine though. I think the timing's on our side. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit tricky here, just because it was neat. It did require a bit of timing on my side. I keep stopping because I keep hoping that I'm going to go into 0%, but she was just so tough. But yeah, Feixiao will clear this up. There we go. Alright, so something really cool happens here. You can hear the effects of the battle in the background. So what I specifically did there is that I wanted to get Robin in before she had her opportunities to set up all her stuff, just to get some extra damage without having to deal with all the extra ice lances. If you notice, she also has the damage, and that's just from right before she turned. All the attacks went through, like during that white screen. I didn't really know that happens, so that was kind of cool to see in this one. I'm glad that we didn't waste that damage. Anyway, at this point, like the battle's pretty much decided. Like this is not going to be hard to finish up. Really, the first stage is actually a bit more harder, just because Gepard is there and he could ruin everything. Like this is just now going through the motions. Mind you, you can see here, I'm still prioritizing Kokalia when I can. Now this part, that kind of annoyed me. Gallagher of all people getting frozen was not what I was hoping for. But it's okay. The good thing with Jade is that she continues building her count. So she's going to get her follow-up attack anyway. So I'm not too concerned there. Now here's where I think I got like really smart. Just because as soon as Gallagher goes, I'm just going to reactivate Robin. Now, I can just tell you, it's over. It's pretty much over. We've done it. We won. So here I'm just thinking about whether or not I want to get the full charge. I think if I just used my if I just used the heal, I probably would have gotten the full charge.
Don't let me down.
In the mood for another beating? Nice, like a good friend.
One thing about this battle is I know my friend also was able to do it with the DoT team. So just a standard Acheron. I think she probably used Firefly in there as well. But DoT could do this fight pretty easily as well. I think. I haven't tried it with DoT. I think I'm probably using the, like a harder to use team in general.
There's no backing now for me or you.
Alright, cool. That's pretty much it. We're about to use the ultimate and we're pretty much done. Actually, never mind. Jade finished it. Awesome. Challenge ended. I got a pretty good score. Okay, let's go deal with the monkeys. So for this one, I'm using my DoT. Kafka's pretty standard. I haven't really changed her since the day I first got her. She has no ease. I would like to have Eidolons for her, but no. Here's what I got for Black Swan. And then we go Acheron. Now Acheron has, we're going to give special note to Acheron here. Because I actually have, I have E2 Acheron, which makes things much easier. And then the other big note, as you saw, I have trends on Xuan. That's going to just help Acheron. And here's the ease for Acheron. Pretty much E2 just allows Acheron to get her ultimate more often. And Xuan having trends just allows for the ultimate to come out more often. And as you can see, I'm using the ultimate buff. God, that's a creepy scream. Thought it was someone screaming outside. Alright, battle begins. So, this one actually requires some careful selection of enemies. Because Kafka has the follow-up, you should also try to keep track of the fact that Kafka will be contributing. So you ideally don't want to waste your moves on like one of these monsters that is gonna, like, it only needs one more attack to trigger its little like special mechanic. Now one thing here that I quickly realized would help, and I had to try this fight like 8 times when I was doing the re-record for this video. You're going to see that I'm taking a bit of time with my choices just because I'm doing some math here. But one of these monsters, the one on the far edge, he does action forwarding. So I found it's actually very good to target him very often to get your people doing more actions. And then the other people who are worth attacking are the one to the left of the dinosaur, the one that I just attacked, because that one will restore your energy, like that. So you have to be really careful here. You gotta pick out the ones that are going to help you the most, and for me, prioritizing action forwarding was more important than prioritizing the skill. But otherwise, it's a very tense fight if you mess up the order of operations. Another thing, you should not be doing auto for this one. For instance, when I do auto on this, Xuan will pick out, man, I hope that's her name. She will pick out the worst target. So you really don't want that. You need to pilot this by yourself the entire time. But man, I love it when they get burned from that attack, man. It just makes things so much easier. One thing here is because you're using, well, because I'm using Xuan here for my sustain, you have to be really mindful of the skill points, which makes the ones that take away skill points a little bit more dangerous. Always try to have one skill point when she's going to get her turn and you know you need to refresh her damage dispersal. Also, her making sure that she keeps her energy is really important because that's the only heal I have. You might be asking, why aren't you using a better healer? Well, first off, you will be able to do better if you have a better healer than I do. And second, I have no better healer. That's it. It's Gallagher and this girl. That's all I got.
All things in this world, human creations.
Pretty much whenever I managed to pull off the ultimate with her, though, I felt incredibly relieved because it just makes it more likely I'm going to be able to survive till the end.
I see through you.
Okay, here is just where I have to check just to make sure I know what I'm doing.
And awaken.
Say bye to breathing.
So we're going to start targeting this guy again just to get the action forward.
Stand still.
There we go. Now Acheron's going to get to go first. Now what did I pick here? What did I do? Yeah, okay, I went full.
Yin and yang.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
A quick divination. Mind your manners.
Didn't hurt. What do you want to know?
I guess I should say there is some degree of luck that's going to be involved here just in terms of who gets their energy back and whatnot. But it's not so bad. As long as you prioritize, as long as you do careful prioritization of enemies, you'll be fine. And again, I do advocate for just taking on or making sure you get the action forwards whenever you can. From the far left enemy.
Destiny is apparent. Ill tidings manifest. Still waters of oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall. May as well kill them all. Good times, never time to say bye. Boom. Stand still. Say bye to breathing. Destiny isn't chosen. Ill fate is
Whenever I get to the point where I can see that we're just like one good ultimate away from ending the fight, you know, I get really happy, but I'm thinking like I know things will go wrong on the next phase, so I have to make sure I'm prepped for going into that next phase. Because I think it's in the next phase where they start attacking, they do that unison attack.
it too shall fall.
One thing about my Acheron is that her artifacts do not have the most crit damage substat rolls on it. So if there was room for improvement, it's definitely going to be Acheron for me, because I can just put on more crit damage safely. I think her sphere and her the chains are the ones that are lacking crit damage substats.
Free will, or was it fate?
Now here again, I'm just doing some math. Just trying to predict how things are going to go.
Still waters of oblivion.
Together as one.
Hurt. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall. Relax.
Now in the action order, you can see that their combo attack is coming pretty quick here. I definitely fear it. I definitely want it to be stronger here. I'm glad that we have damage dispersal up though, because taking that attack without the damage dispersal is just kind of miserable. I do wonder how much easier this fight would be if I had someone like Losha, but again, as I don't have them, you know, all I can do is just use my evasion preservation. All right.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Okay, as you can see here, we're in the red. It's like this moment did feel pretty clutch.
Stand still.
That's exactly what I was hoping for. We're going for the action forward, because now we have Acheron ready to go. Makes things a little bit easier, because now, if you're intelligent with how you attack here, you're going to take out the last little bit of the toughness bar.
Another journey begins.
And once you take out the last little bit of the toughness bar, you're going to get action forwarded anyway. And there, we pretty much did it.
That's half the work.
That was probably the hardest part, is just making sure you have everyone ready to go there. And that's again why I advocate for going after the action forward enemy as many times as you can. And again, that's the one on the far left.
It too shall fall.
Because now, we really only need one more ultimate from Acheron, and the game's over.
What do you want to know? Ill tidings meant. Relax. Time to say bye. Boom. Destiny isn't chosen. Ill fate is said. Free will, or was it fate? On a still waters of oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Nice. There we go. Yeah, that second half is much easier once you get them into that broken state. Anyway, that was my run through of, what is it called? Well, Gusty Primate, Apocalyptic Shadows. I'm happy. My mentality with Star Rail is that I do like just pulling for the characters that I like. I don't really pull for meta. But what it means when I say I like pulling for the characters I like, I mean really, I want to go after the E's for the characters that I want to use. Because fundamentally, like, so many characters in Star Rail just have such good E2s that I think it's okay to skip a bunch of characters just to focus on the one core team I want to keep using. That's the mentality that guided me on the Jade team. I would like to have Feixiao to E2, but you know, that's a project for another time. Anyway, everyone, I hope this video gave anyone inspiration. I hope you're able to clear Apocalyptic Shadows. It wasn't the most miserable Apocalyptic Shadows of all time. I'm glad I didn't have to break out DoT for Kolia. And I'm glad I was able to get through Gusty Primate more or less. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching, and till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.